Hey guys, welcome to Little Black Button 91. We're here giving you guys a rundown of episode 14. Yes, Michael has found somebody to love him. And it is Chloe, it seems, and maybe for one night only. And so we're going to be breaking it down on episode 14 and what happened. We had Claire and Cameron. Claire suddenly running after Cameron, telling him how great their friendship is and, you know, that she's not stressed and everything like that. But he won't pick up her calls. Maybe I think he needs to get the hint. The brother said he don't want you no more. Okay, then leave it alone. Okay. Then we go obviously Orion and Lauren. Orion said he's been around the belt of stars. He's come back and realized he was crazy and out of this universe. But Lauren forgives him, and they are going to be friends for happily ever after once more again. Brennan and Emily. Emily. She want to dance with somebody. She want to dance with somebody. And Brennan said no. Okay, he saw her on the dance floor and got flashbacks of something else and decided that he was going to leave that dance floor and leave her and leave this marriage behind. I'm kidding about the marriage behind part. And so that was them as well. So Becca and Austin, I didn't see them much in this. I didn't see them much in this episode. So I don't know. Maybe I was on 1.5 zoom speed. I didn't really see their situation. Anything happened there, Sean, really quickly?
Yeah, he was in, I believe, Philadelphia. They went to Philadelphia to visit his grandma.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
so he still hasn't given us sex
for the wedding. Yeah. No, yeah, he's still not. They're going to see Granny. So he's going to see Granny. So she's still not going to get no. She ain't getting no action. No,
he ain't gonna sex her. Yeah, no, because it doesn't take this long to get sex out of somebody.
No. They're gonna be
some of us in the streets and get liquor. Yeah, listen. Hey guys, listen. We are here for next few moments. We're gonna talk about Married at First Sight. So if you're here, please keep it cute and classy in the chat. Leave your comments in that space. We want to hear your thoughts as well. Let's get into some conversation. If you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Click on that bell button for the notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. All right, cool. Listen, let's get into this shit then. Sean, talk to me, man, because most of the episode was spent around Michael and Chloe. She spoke about how she has perfectionist spirit. She spoke about the fact that, she's, got these dogs as well that, seems to be very old as well. I don't know. There was a lot going on, but she looked like she was ready to get married. She had the sneakers on with the dress. They got to the pulpit. It seemed to be quirky and loving. She didn't run away when she saw him at the pulpit. I'm sure she probably wanted to, but when she heard that he's been run away before, and I know she knew a little bit about it before she entered on that pulpit, I know they had told her the story that the first bride ran away. So I know she weren't trying to run away herself, right? But yeah, I want to get your thoughts. What's your thoughts on this, Captain?
Well, to be quite honest, I'm just glad that we're here because it's taken quite a bit to get you to do this review. So thank you, sir. Thank you, kind sir. Because we're actually 2 weeks behind, by the way. So
that's right, and nothing has been missed.
No, bro,
still not sexing.
You last week was really the good one, especially on the after party when Keisha and Emily went at it. I thought that was a good one. So I might just weave a little bit of that when we talk about Emily and Brennan a little bit later. But yeah, no, listen. This is like we're kind of going back to go forward. The wedding parts of the show is always kind of the slow part. But I just want to be happy for Michael. I want to have some happiness for as long as it's going to last. Listen, I don't think it's going to last long. If I know anything about maths, I don't think it's going to, we're going to have those butterflies for much longer. But so far, these guys are really aligned. So I like it. I think that they did a good job of trying their best to bring two people together that have a lot of similarities and, a lot of foundational things to be successful. Brennan still hates Emily. He still hates her. He hates her guts. I'm sorry. I hate to say it, but he hates her guts. I've never seen anybody hate anyone more in my entire life than he hates her. But I think he might have a reason to, and we can delve into that later. But I think he hates her. She's like, she asked him about nostalgia. Are you feeling any nostalgia because this is our wedding? No. No, I don't feel anything. I'm excited for them. Forget about you. Forget about us. I'm excited for them. The resident know-it-alls were reunited. Lauren and Orion. Okay, I'm tired of the both of them. I'm sorry. I just think they're just resident know-it-alls. I'm over them. Claire was calling into her phone, talking to nobody, just like Tommy was talking to Glenn, the guy that got that was all nervous at the most recent Ready to Love. She wasn't talking to nobody. She wasn't talking to nobody. I don't think Claire was talking to anybody. I think she was just trying to look good because she's starting to feel bad. That's it. She feels bad because she's seeing herself. She's like, oh, this is the wedding. I'm here by myself. I feel bad. Me, 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 me. You shouldn't have to call him. If you know he's in the hospital, show up with a flower and go see him. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's not on some romance, if somebody is legit in the hospital or they're home, stop by and see them. Don't call me. You don't have to call me on the phone. If I'm in the hospital or I'm sick, stop by and come see me. You're not far away. Go see the man. So I'm over Claire and her stuff. I'm just really over it.
No, listen, I definitely hear you, man. You know what I mean? I definitely hear you on that, bro. Let's start with then Claire and Cameron then situation. Obviously, clearly they've got to a point where Cameron obviously pulled away, and once he pulled away, it seems like that has done the trick. She's decided to want to pull. She's decided to want to now, proceed further and try to chase him a little bit. I think that kind of speaks to maybe where she is, because that's the push and pull effect, right? Once a person comes to pull away, then suddenly now you want it. Kind of talks a little bit about the mindset of where she potentially is as well. So I think, just watching her on that episode, and when she was talking about the wedding, she's at the wedding, I'm not nervous, I'm not feeling like how I was last time, and I went to ring him and make sure he was good, and make sure he was okay, and everything like that as well. So, I mean, I get it, man. She wanted to maybe do a little checkup on him, maybe didn't want to do nothing too crazy, but I think it's a little too late. It's almost like, in a sense, right? But I guess, like she said, she called it a friendship. I don't know if it's going to be a friendship, if I'm honest with you. I don't know. I know Cameron liked her a lot, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do a friendship after. But that's just my personal sentiment and thoughts. I don't know if he will be able to do it.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Developing of this. I think if they see each other in the street, they'll smile and say hello, and that's it. That's about the extent of this. They won't be friends. They won't be talking, because I think with the two of them, and her more than him, they present a facade of what they want people to see. And I think, but behind the scenes, they really know the truth between the two of them. And I'm not saying she's right, he's wrong, or he's right, she's wrong, or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, I know, like, if we're presenting one thing behind here, right, but behind the scenes, we know we hate each other's guts. Once we're finished whatever we need to do, we're gone. We're done with the business. There needs to be no friendship, because they don't have a foundation of a friendship. You get what I'm saying? Like, even on the after parties, one is saying that the other wasn't attracted to them, and the other is saying that's not true. We have too much inconsistencies, too many who's lying, who to figure out what. They know what's going on, and I don't think they're going to be friends with each other. I don't think there's a friendship, because, again, like I said in the intro, if we had some semblance of a friendship and I'm in the hospital and we're in the same state, same locale, within a way to get to each other, why would I not go see my friend in the hospital? Why would I not? Oh, he told me he doesn't want me to worry. That's Bullock. Anybody that's ill and they care about somebody, or somebody's like, that's the time when you want people around you. Stop by and give me an apple. Do something. No. So I'm not buying it.
No, I definitely hear you on that. I think, it's going to be hard to build that friendship, because I don't think they actually ever built it up. And you're right, the inconsistency in terms of whether someone fancies the other person or not is real, because I think we never really saw that from Claire towards Cameron. Like, we never really saw that she was really attracted to Cameron. I think she just needed to be honest about that and open herself up to that. And I think maybe she's afraid of being... maybe like she's afraid of being the bad guy. But, listen, sometimes we are the bad guy in somebody's story, but not the bad guy overall. Like, you're just a bad person in the story, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad person overall. And I think if she can just accept that, she'll maybe there could be a friendship after that. Probably not, but there could at least be some kind of bridges built. And then stop pretending as if you were trying so hard. I'm not saying that that you didn't try at all, right? Because nobody wants to push somebody when you're not really feeling them. Let's be honest, right? Nobody wants to. If you're not attracted to them, it's going to be very, very hard for you to want to do this thing. I'm not going to pretend as if it's an easy thing to do. But when you're honest about it and to be real about it, then it means that actually you know how to maneuver and move. Instead of almost kind of gaslighting the situation to be like, that's not what it is. And it's like, no. That's what it is. That's why he was moving the way he was moving. And that's why he was behaving the way he was behaving. And that's why he is where he is now, where he does not want to be in a situation no more. It is what it is. Any more thoughts on Claire and Cameron before we shift it?
Just lastly, I think it takes a lot for people to deconstruct, especially when they're not, and if we're going to take her word for it, then she's not being honest with herself. So I think it's going to take a lot for her to deconstruct to then really truly build an honest friendship. That's why it's easy to kind of just leave the distance where the distance is, right? Oh, I miss you so much, because there's still distance there. He's not in her apartment. They're not sharing an apartment. They're not sharing a space. So it's easy for me to convey the emotion of missing you, but to follow up with the actions that typically come from somebody that genuinely misses somebody, I don't have to be accountable to that, because that requires me to really fully delve into how I feel about that person. And I think she legit just doesn't like him. And I think he gave her some reasons to not like her. Not for her to not like him, right? He's not perfect. He's been kind of like, he manipulates information the way he shares about his father being ill. He's a little manipulative. Even how he kind of dropped, like, he's not sure if his heart condition was perhaps brought on by the stress of their relationship. It's like, bro, you're manipulating things. So I think they both kind of use information and manipulate it in a way to avoid dealing with their true feelings. So I think that's why I think it's too much work. When a friendship is too much work, you abandon it.
Yep.
It's too much work for those two to be friends. So they're going to abandon it. And I think the natural human response is, if we feel like we have to work too much at something, especially if there's no investment at this point, it's like, we're going to move on. We don't have to hate each other, but we could just, hey, I see you across the room. Hi, bye. Keep it moving.
Definitely hear on that. Let's shift it then to Orion and Lauren. Orion and Lauren, obviously, then they got together at the wedding to talk, have conversation. He wanted a hug, and he kind of confessed that listen, through therapy, he realized his error of his ways. He realized, hey, look, my bad. I made some mistakes. You know what I mean? I got it wrong a little bit as well too. I realized that he wasn't emotionally abusing me. I realized that he was not trying to hurt me like that. You know what I mean? I was just, afraid because, people had been shouting in my family and stuff. So, he had gone through some stuff. He got to a good place. I think that was, very good from Orion. I think he shared some good thoughts. What's your thoughts on this situation here?
Do you know what that was, Kojo?
What was that?
That's me playing the world's smallest violin, because that's how I feel about that. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. It all sounds good. He's done all this healing in like, what, months? I'm sorry. It's pure entertainment. It's very performative. Oh, I've realized I've learned this. Come on. I'm tired of it, bro. I'm tired of it. But I get it. They're nice words to say. So for the sake of the fact that we have to see these two on our cameras, give us something to, at least so we're not, so frustrated, because everybody's kind of fed up with this season at this point, because it seems like there's nothing to hang on to. So if we see a little bit of human, he was finally treating her like a human being, I'll take it, but I'm just not buying any of it. It's a lot. Like, he did all of this self-work. He's the sage advice giver. He's over here giving Brennan advice. He's talking to Michael and giving them advice. Yeah, I'm kind of done with it. I just want him to just shh.
Listen, I hear what you're saying. I can't lie to you, and I can't deny what you're saying. There's a little bit of posturing in terms of, as the audience said, from him, kind of almost playing in front of the cameras a little bit as well, because he really did down her bad. But I think, I'm gonna give him a little bit of grace and say, hey, look, you know what? Maybe he has learned a little bit. It's a little bit too late, but I'm saying he's learned a little bit, right? And I think, so I don't know. Every time they have the conversation, it always seems to be ending in the same place. That he coming back and saying something more in terms of his understanding. So I don't know if he's having continual revelations or whether this is that maybe he feels bad and feels guilty about the way he treated her. I'm not sure exactly 100% what it is, but every time they come back to the camera, it's a conversation about how he's grown a little bit more. You know what I mean? For the situation, or how he understood that he didn't make the right choice, or da 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 da. Like, so I don't know. I'm in between. I'm like, is it revelation, or is it just the fact that brother wants to look good on the camera? What's your thought, shit? What are you going to say? Go for it, Sean.
Yeah, he's just one of those people that they read a self-help book, or maybe they go on blogs, and then they start talking about all this level of enlightenment that they've received. He was talking like that when they when they were together. He did all this talking, and they both did. That's probably why they paired them together, because I think they have the same like sensibility, like this kind of like yam no hold and gehio kind of it's like, come on guys, you're killing me with all this self-help, all this knowledge you have, but then when it comes to like how the relationship plays out, it's just sheer chaos. It's so chaotic. It's super chaotic. And just as TM10 said, I saw her on the after party talking about that. So to me, that just shows it's like when we're on camera, I'm going to do, I'm going to say all the right things, but, really and truly, I just don't like you. And that happens sometimes. We run into people that we just don't like. But I just don't like the fakeness, can I give you a hug? And then now when we see each other and the cameras aren't rolling, I want to be on the opposite end of the room with you.
So basically, he's an actor as well. So in that sense, yeah, and that's acting. If you're doing that, and for sure that you're not actually doing that behind the cameras, then you're acting. You know what I mean? And that's inauthentic, as someone said as well. And that's you actually being manipulative too, right? You trying to manipulate the audience into thinking that you're this great guy. But the reality of the situation, like we always say, is these shows really do expose people about how they behave, and that marriage exposed him. It exposed him real bad, because as soon as he found an opportunity, he took it, twisted it, and then turned it into a fiasco. Like, I mean, he really ran with it and took it. Like, I'm not saying there wasn't something that was said that could potentially be looked at as a very painful situation, but he really ran with it, took it, expanded it, and blew it out the water, completely out the water. And there was no way of coming back for him. And in that sense, it shows now that obviously, yeah, if you're now saying it on camera, you're like, oh my God, I've grown, but behind the scenes, you can't really be vibes with a person. Yeah, you hate her guts too, just like Brennan hates Emily's guts. You don't like Lauren at all, and you probably might never have liked her at all, because that visceral reaction is often an indication that you probably didn't like the person in the beginning, and this was just your excuse to get out, as well. So, it's tough. I mean, I feel someone said like Lauren is stupid for falling for Orion's acting. I mean, to be fair, up until that point, nothing had happened. Up until that point, nothing had really happened. This was just this was the one time that things blew out the water, and she got to see his character. And fair play to her. She tried to make it work. I can't hold anything against Lauren, because she did try to make it work. She tried to apologize. She tried to say sorry. She tried to. And that was a little bit of the apology was a little bit at one point, but she tried to make it work. She tried to grow, try to develop, try to heal, try to go away and learn about the culture. I mean, the girl went above and beyond. Okay, so she tried her absolute best, and can say she left everything on the table to try and make it work. And when it didn't do that, she had only one choice, which is to walk away and and try to heal herself from that scenario. And yeah, it's political, man.
Well, this is one thing though, and she owned up to it finally, but she was carrying on off camera herself. She was yelling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's what he said. He was like, it wasn't verbal abuse, but he said, when you were yelling and we couldn't, because a couple of times when he talked to her on camera, he said, I feel like I can't handle when we try to talk about it and you get it, it gets elevated. And I'm paraphrasing. So yeah, she was carrying on behind the scenes. She definitely was. And she was like, then that's when she said, in part of it, she was like, I had to realize that I had trauma from a previous relationship. It wasn't from anything growing up, it was from a previous relationship. So I felt like your rejection of me, or you telling me that I didn't have your back, um, that made me upset, and that's why I reacted that way. So she owned it and said, all that yelling and stuff. So yeah, she did some yelling and carrying on behind the scenes too. So she's no innocent. But I think he could have handled things better for sure with her. I'm not going to take that away from her. I think he and people do this, and you explained it well in different when you were like talking about the different personality traits. Like when somebody wants to alleviate themselves of the burden, right? Like if I know I don't like somebody and I don't want to be in the situation, but I want to use something just enough so that it alleviates me, it doesn't make me look like the bad guy, it doesn't make me look like I'm the one that's pulling the plug, I want to blame it on them. So that's basically what he did. He used a weakness, something she did, a few things she did, the insensitive remark, coupled with her reactions being, a little over the top. He twisted that and said, "Boom, that's it. I'm kind of done with you."
Fair play. I like it. Okay. Let's move on then to to uh, uh, to Becca and Austin. We are episode 14 in, and he still hasn't given her the holy D. It's crazy. It's been a long road, but I think the Israelites would have reached the promised land before Becca gets what she needs from Austin. It will not be flowing with the land of milk and honey for her. She will be in the land of the dry. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to see the situation go on the way it is, because it's got nothing to do with holy heaven's gates as to why he hasn't busted wide open. It's simply the fact that the brother does not want her at all. Okay, this brother is not attracted to her in that particular way. But then I say that, and I say that he'd be kissing her. But I think to myself, either that, or maybe we're also looking at something else too. Maybe something wrong with Austin. Maybe Austin got a little something going on too. Let's not put it just on the woman. Maybe Austin got a little something going on too. Focus on the little, you know what I mean? A little something going on too. We don't know. I'm joking, but I'm saying, we don't know what could be going on that side too, as to why he's also avoiding the situation as well. So I'm not gonna just put it on the fact that Becca's got illnesses. There could be also another side as well. Go for it, Sean.
Well, why can't he just be chased? Why can't he be chased, coach? Oh, maybe he's just an old-fashioned kind of guy, and he is just taking his time. He's taking his time before they get down to things, and he wants to continue to build with her. So, look, oh, and you missed that last. You missed that. I mean, you watched the episode, but do you remember when they were talking about sex and they had that little intimate exercise, and the topic of pegging
Wait.
came up?
Yeah, I didn't. I missed that last part up, that part of the pegging. But yes. Oh no, no, I did. I saw it. No, I did remember seeing it. Yes, but I don't remember what was said exactly.
Well, in essence, he was kind of like more tongue in cheek, but they were playing this little game, and he was like, "Oh, would you peg me?" or something like that, whatever he said, something to that effect, and then she laughed, and then she was like, "Oh," So yeah, I'm not sure. I cannot figure this guy out for the life of me. I know we know what the obvious looks like, is that he may not be attracted to her, but I do think there might be some other things that we just don't know about, that he just doesn't want to do. But I know one thing I don't think is going to happen, at least while we're on this show. I can tell you that. I don't think it's going to happen while we're on the show. I mean, now if they decide to choose each other on decision day and, move forward, maybe behind the scenes after the fact, when the cameras aren't rolling and he feels less pressure, they might get down to it. But I don't think while the show is going, it's going to happen. And he actually told her on the preview, he said something like he gave her like 3 to 6 months or something like that.
For what?
He said, I usually wait 3 to 6 months. He said something like that.
Before he has sex?
Yeah. That's what
Yeah,
he said on the preview when she was sliding down the wall again, because
no,
she
time's up.
is beside herself. Poor Becca. I mean, I feel bad for her because she's like, cue all the songs, Ready to Go Right Now, Tyler's Water songs. She wants it all. It's like, give it to me, And he's just, he's being chased. And I don't know. But I think she's gonna burst at her seams at any minute if he does not give her what she's looking for, because they're married. You know what I'm saying? And he says all the right things. He says, I'm attracted to you. He says, I like you. I like kissing you. When they went to Dr. P, that's right. I'm remembering previous parts, right? They went to Dr. P, and she was like, she did a follow-up. She was like, so you guys are supposed to be moving on to, I guess, other parts of intimacy, whether it was foreplay. And Dr. P said, well, what happened? And he was like, well, Dr. P, he gave Dr. P that blank stare like this, like, I don't know. It's like, bro, come on. We're grown here. What is going on? So yeah, these two, it's not gonna make it. They're not gonna make it in the intimacy.
I honestly think there's something deeper going on here. Can't lie to you with old boy. I can't lie to you. There may be something deeper. 3 to 6 months. It's a very long time. It's giving ED. It's giving maybe might not be aligned in that way. It's giving, you know what I mean? I'm just saying because 3 to 6 months is a very long time. If you said that previously, like, okay, we could have said maybe he doesn't fancy her, right? And that he didn't want to, like someone said, he doesn't want to lead her on, doesn't want her to feel some type of way because he doesn't want to have sex with her and then have to pull out later. I mean, he's not pulling out at all, but you know what I mean? Like, but maybe doesn't want to do that, right? But if you then say as well that usually you wait 3 to 6 months, maybe there's something else to the story that we ain't really understanding. Maybe there's more to the story that we're not really getting. Maybe there's more to the story in terms of what's happening on his side rather than just Becca's side. Maybe there is something that he's not letting us know. Okay? Because the guy hasn't even got a blowjob. He hasn't even got that from her. Yeah, I can say it. I can say it. He's married, so why? It doesn't matter. He's not even getting that. So there's something quite not right there. I'm just gonna be honest with you. There's something not quite right there. Okay? Old girl is burning, and I mean she is burning. Your wife is there burning. Okay, all right. Lucy said he's tried everything to turn her off. Like he's tried everything. She's like, I will try it all. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. I just think there's like more to the story, to be honest. Mm-hmm.
Well, we can start with the positive. So maybe it's like what Mika said. So that if he says no on decision day, he doesn't hurt her, and she's not more invested. Valid Chris also had a good, positive spin to it, right? Perhaps he's just a little insecure because Becca may be more sexually experienced than he is. So maybe he's just intimidated. From a performance aspect. Maybe he's shy and doesn't want to discuss the intimacy that could happen on camera. Remember the guy, the couple, what season was that? I think it was Atlanta season. And it was the black guy and was it Ryan and Clara? Ryan and Clara. And they were saying that they weren't doing anything, but behind the scenes they were doing it, or they were doing some things more than what they were portraying because he just didn't want to talk about it. So it could be that, but from the way she's crying, I don't, unless she's a grade A actress, the way those tears are flowing, the way her body language, he's not giving her no activity. I mean, listen, I would feel bad for the girl. You know, there's so many things you can do. We have hands, you know, fingers, you know, like there's so many. And I mean, I'm sorry to be graphic, and I don't mean to offend, and forgive me, but I just think, like, you know, touch her, you know, maybe even, you know, give her a little kiss downstairs. Like, come on, the girl is like, I mean, just pity alone would um you know, have me wanting to just relieve her of the stress that she has in some kind of way. You know, so I don't know what it is. I really don't. But again, look, I don't think I could go on a show like this because it's like,
I'll definitely be a villain because I'm gonna get mines.
look, I'm not, it's not about that, but it's like you have people know everything that you do gets picked apart.
Scrutinized.
It just gets so picked apart. So people are gonna have opinions no matter what you do. So it just flashed in my moment. Imagine two guys sitting up here
Discussing the
giving
fact
you
that you ain't getting that.
instructionals on what you should have done with your wife. I felt that's terrible. But I mean, just my head just starts rolling. I'm like, hey, you could just touch her, you know, like give her a massage, you know, like touch her, you know, because she just seems so ready and so willing and just so wanting. And my wife, I can have her in this place and not do something. I couldn't do it.
It's touch me, tease me. You
There
know,
you
Foxy
go.
Brown would have sang it best. You know what I mean? Tired. Ah, sorry. That song's brilliant. Yeah, no, listen. Yeah, there's something there, and even the one that you described, Clara and old boy, yeah, yes, she was handing out the stuff behind the scenes, but he was also being selfish with it because she was handing it out and he was not giving it back. Something was still wrong. So clearly, there's something not quite right, and Austin needs to be honest about it because old girl's been starving for the last 6 weeks. It don't make no sense. We're coming to the end of the show, and man still ain't done it. You know what I mean? Yeah, and the pegging stuff, I can't lie to you, I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I mean, you know, let me take a leaf out of Patricia's book. No, okay, we ain't doing that around here. But no, I mean, when he said that, I said, you know what? Some people like, you know, some people like that kind of stuff. Maybe they like a little bit of freaky stuff, but it was given the other team. Just saying. I don't want to say it too. It was given just a little rainbow. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not talking about Jesus as a promise either on the Noah's Ark. It's giving a little rainbow. Okay, all right. Or he really doesn't want to. He really doesn't want us to get close, and he just used that as a way out. But that's national television, so I'm gonna say that's his truth. And I think there's something else to that.
Yeah, look, listen. Um, what was even funny about that whole exercise? I'm not gonna kink shame anybody, so if that's
Right.
what you're into, I'm gonna also quote our good friend Patricia when she said, "If that is good for you, you know what I mean. That's good for you. Not my ministry, but that's good for you. That works for you. That's great. You know, have a blast. Not it's just not for me. You know, not my thing. But when they did that sex exercise, you know, and that's supposed to build intimacy, he built this whole obstacle course around the apartment. And he
Yes,
was just like running her up and down all these. I'm like, what is sexy about any of this? Like,
she was on hands
bro,
and
he
knees.
almost at one point they have like the floor to ceiling windows. He was about to lead her right out the window because she was like, I'm gonna run into the window. He's like, no, I got you.
And your ass.
Exactly. He was like, you're gonna open the window. It's like, oh my god, how did she get down there? He wants to finish her. He's done with her. Where in the sexy is that? We clown Shaq when he did that whole exercise, but at least there was some sexiness to it. You know, she's tied up. They're using whipped cream. You know, like there's sexiness involved in that. He was awkward with it, but whatever. You're on TV, we'll give him a pass. But this, you sent this girl on a blindfolded obstacle course around your apartment, up and down, over furniture, and to the window she goes. Yeah,
About to lead
he
her
doesn't
right on
fancy
out.
her. He doesn't
About to
fancy her.
lead
I'm sorry.
her. About to read her right, lead her right on out. Oh.
Then they went in the room. They went in the room. They closed the door. They had the romantic music, you know,
Oh.
about to cue Maxwell till the cops come knocking. And then Emily blew up his spot on the after party and said, "Yeah, you pushed her. Oh yeah, you can see you don't watch the after party. So on the after party, right after that episode, Emily being nosy, but she gave us information that we needed to hear. She was like, "Yeah, we're right below you, so we hear you guys, and we heard all that rumbling around, but y'all wasn't doing anything." And then Emily told me that right after the door closed, y'all didn't do nothing else. And then she told me one time she came on to you, and
I
you
think I heard
told
this
her to
one.
get off of you, you horny girl. Yep, he told Becca, he's like, "Get off me, you horny girl."
Maybe he's got some trauma there because what's going on, you know. Maybe he's got some trauma there. He needs to go and unpack that. Okay, he needs to go and unpack that because the brother is not even giving anything at this point in time. Yeah, I think that we need to unpack that. I don't know what kind of trauma it is, but we need to unpack it because oh god, listen, old girl has been suffering, and I don't think she knows the real reason why she's suffering like that. You know, so yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's too much. It's too much. Too much. I think that he needs to be honest and truthful about why he's not trying to peg her, but wanted rather to be pegged. I just think he needs to be honest about that. Your girl is wanting you, and you don't want her. I think we need to have a real conversation about why you don't want her like that. You know what I mean? That's just the honest truth. Someone said sex guilt cycle needs to be examined here as a possibility. Potentially, it could be. It could be. It could be.
He doesn't, listen, and I'm going to put this out here. I'm, judge not, lest thee be judged. I don't claim to be, pious by any means, but I don't see somebody that is a highly indoctrinated religious person in him. You know what I mean? Like the kind of person
Yeah, it's
that
not.
grew up very strict in the church. His best friend is an atheist. His best friend is an atheist. So he doesn't come up, somebody that indoctrinated struggles, struggles with certain things. And I guess I just don't see it in him. I don't think it's that. Could it be? Yes. Do I know people like that? Yeah, who have been, who haven't had, sex. Maybe they waited for sex till marriage, and then they kind of struggle because there's been a mysticism around sex, and now they have a guilt associated with it. However, he's had sex before in relationships. So it's not like he hasn't done it. And I'm just not reading guilt from him. He's able to talk about pegging in a funny, joking kind of way. I don't think he's that restrained. I really don't get that. You see his parents and the way his parents are like very chill. I just don't, I don't get that. It's definitely something. I don't know what the something is. There's a couple of things. We know what it might look like, but I don't think it's the religion thing. Trust me.
For real. All right, let's move on then. Then obviously let's talk about Brennan and Emily and their situation. Brennan and Emily, they murder on a dance floor. Let me call it that. Emily decided to get on the dance floor, and I don't know if I saw a glass smash, but I don't know if that was her. I don't know if it was, but then he decided to get a little bit some way, and he walked away from the situation. I guess maybe he felt like she was too drunk and too party girl for him. What's your thoughts, Sean? Brennan and Emily, what's going on there, man?
He really just does not like this woman, and I kind of said it flippantly in the reading, like he hates her. He just does not. He doesn't like her. When you just don't like somebody, like you feel like everything about you is so different than the things that I would want. I think that's what he sees when he sees her. And there's something about her that triggers him to the point of no avail. Now, he is a very closed off, very guarded person, almost stoic to a point where Dr. Pia pretty much had to browbeat him to get him to understand that he actually had emotions and feelings about something specific that he couldn't name. He doesn't like her. He just doesn't. And I feel there's a part of me that feels bad for her because she keeps saying, well, I wanted to go back to where it was before. Well, that would be before he knew you. You get what I mean? Like before he knew her, like when they first got married and maybe the first day or two of their honeymoon, he was just getting to know her. Once he found out enough for him to feel like he knew her, he no longer liked her. And I think it just clicked for me. And I think this is why it's hard for him to say that. Because it's very hard for somebody to say on camera, like, there's nothing that we can work on because I realize I just don't like you. And I don't think he can put words to it, but his actions are saying like there's nothing more that we can do. That's why in the beginning, when they first moved into the house, he was ready to start building a life separate so they could let's just get through this because I don't like you. I don't want you. And there's really nothing that's going to change it. And every time somebody pushes him, he gets upset. When Dr. P pushes him, he gets upset. You know, he doesn't want to have the conversation because he doesn't like her and he's made the decision. And I think that's where we are. Now, some of that has nothing to do with Emily, but some of it does. I think Emily is a little sloppy, you know, with these accidents, clumsiness. And I think she might be just drinking a little bit. Now, whether it's an ongoing issue, somebody said it. Exactly. You remember Virginia, you know, like a party girl. It's like a party girl. And it sucks, you know? And then she went on the party, the dance floor, and she's going to turn up. And it's not even like, oh, this is just one instance of her being a party girl and she just wants to have a good time at the wedding. I think that's who Emily is. And that squinty look that she gave when she was like trying to like pick at him to like just say it. I've seen that look before. And to me, she gets a little tipsy. And when the veil comes off, when she's a little bit more freer, and she says what she wants to say. And I think sometimes it's stuff that Brennan doesn't want to hear, whether it's truth or whether it's not truth or if it's her truth, it's too much. And I don't think he likes it. And I think that just exacerbates the fact of why he does not like her. So these two, they ain't gonna make it. Ain't no way. It's painful to even watch them two together.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when I watched the episodes in the beginning, and I think someone said it. Shay's kind of said it. They did say he was a very quick cut off kind of person. He's a dismissive person. It was given dismissive. It was given avoidant dismissive. I can't lie to you, right? And you know, once they see something that they don't like, they find it very hard to go back. It's like they've made a decision, they lie in it, and they're done. Now I think he's trying to change that, but in all of that, doing that, you saw how hard he kept his boundaries when Dr. P was asking sensible questions. Not even bad questions. She was asking sensible questions about the way he was behaving. And in fact, not to that point, he almost was controlling at a point, trying to answer for her at points in time, right? So, you know, there's definitely some problems there with Brennan on that aspect. I think also with Emily, yeah, I think maybe the drunken aspect is a big role. I think because obviously, remember, she's quite a person that has always been very rigid because of the sports that she plays, the football, and that was always a method of control. She said she got to a point where she didn't like doing it anymore because it was just always football, always this, always soccer, always soccer, always soccer. Happen to go here, happen to go there, happen to go here, happen to go here. You know, and that can feel like a lot of restrictions. And maybe the drink is the way for her to kind of be free and not have to think about the constructs of think of the structured life. She's, you know, I think she mentioned about, being a problem solver as well. I think when she was speaking last 2 weeks, I saw them talking about the football, when they were playing football and stuff, and she spoke about their background. So, maybe the drink is the way of her kind of like releasing and being free. The unfortunate situation is that not everyone likes that way of being free when they're drunk. I don't like drunk people personally. Not that I don't like drunk people. I don't like if my partner's drunk to that point. I don't like it. Right. So if my partner was one of those people, yeah, I'd be turned off too. You know what I mean? Drunks and smokers are not for me. So I would also understand that I might be turned off, but I would have to communicate that, right? Unless we're dating, and then that's a different situation. You say, hey, this is not for me. But if you're married and you enter that place and you said you were going to take this vow seriously, he's going to have to let her know. Let her know, because hopefully he's done it behind the scenes if he hasn't done it so already. But you need to be letting the person know what it is. You can't keep just stepping away and and thinking that that's going to solve the issue. It's not. You got to let her know the truth. And this whole I'm trying to protect you, I don't want to tell anybody. Yeah, okay, but you can tell her behind the scenes, can't you? Right? Yeah, that's it. Go for it, bro.
And listen, you saw the clips, right? She was going toe to toe with Keisha on the after party. And I think that she got upset because, again, it's like when she wanted to know where Keisha was going with the questioning, and Keisha was like, well, you just want to drop your narrative, like, oh, he gaslights me, he does this and that. Well, tell me what you said to him. Like, let's understand what happened. And she just wants to tell her version of the story. It's like, no, ma'am, you need to be able to clearly articulate what happened so people can understand. You just want to throw your narrative out there, and it's very difficult, because you're telling it from your perspective, but you're calling somebody out. You're saying they're lying. You're saying they're manipulating you. Well, you're going to have to give the full story. You're going to say, well, you're going to have to give the full context if you want to drop that. And Keisha was like, no, because she was like, then I don't like this line of questioning. Why don't you ask me something else? Keisha was like, no, we're gonna talk through this. And I'm not your enemy. I'm trying to understand what you said because you made a comment. So now we all have to understand, because we're not there. It's like, yo, slow down. And I think that is part of her issue. Is like, when she don't like it, she's going to say what she needs to say. Now we're seeing Brennan out front because he has the larger issue, right? We see him, he thinks he's hiding it, but he's not really hiding it. We see what he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to deal with it. If he wants no parts of it, he's going to shut down. He's going to isolate. He's going to stop the conversation. He's not one of those people that can really hide themselves, right? He may think it in his head he's hiding, but he's not. It's full visible, and it's easy to point out his issues. I think for her, initially, now we're starting to see more and more. It's like she just seems like this jovial, fun person. But just like you said, the fun drunk kind of gets boring. Now, listen, I'm not saying she's a drunk, because I don't know her. I don't know her situation. I don't want to put a label on her. But I'm saying the type of person, the fun drunk, it gets annoying. It's fun once, ha 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 ha. But if that's all you are, if that's your outlet, if that's what your go-to, you come home from work and you're drinking, yeah, some people can deal with that, some people can't. And I think after a while, it can grate on your gears. And just like you, I don't like that. If that's every day, all day, if that's a constant, if we have to do that all the time, it's a lot to deal with. And I would just prefer not to. Yeah, I would prefer not to.
Listen, I hear that 100%. Let's shift it then, because the last 10 minutes to Michael and Chloe. They got married finally, and it seemed like a match made in the quirky heavens. We saw Chloe talking and discussing about how she has her two dogs, and she's got the perfectionist spirit. She felt like she's ready for an emotionally available person. Her biggest fear is not him liking her as much, as well. And so, she, they Michael. What's your thoughts, Sean, on this situation? Because this is 2 times you get blowback on the same series. Talk to me, bro.
Well, I'll say like they say in the South, bless his heart. Bless Michael's heart. Um, I just want to believe in love for a second, and I think that Chloe really seems like I love her energy so far. And I just want an episode of peace. It's like trauma. I have PTSD from maths, especially this season is so chaotic. So please, just can we just have a bit of peace, please? Just can we have 2 episodes of peace? I just want 2 episodes of one couple that we can root for. But yeah, I don't know, bro. I think that Michael is an eccentric. His friends have called him eccentric. He knows himself to be eccentric. So it's going to take an equally eccentric person or someone that can tolerate an eccentric person to take him on and to work with him in a relationship. Yeah. So I think on paper they sound like a match. I'll say that much, especially because I got nervous with the whole child thing, her not wanting children and then wanting to, look into adoption. I'm so glad they aligned on that. I think production was like, all right, we're not going to screw with these people that badly. But on paper, they seem to really match up. And so far, they have genuine chemistry from what I see.
I mean, I definitely hear you. It did look like it was going somewhere. It did look like she was cool. I think the overall focus maybe of the episode, and maybe it might have been the production more, that continual focus of runaway bride, and some of her fears abound, not wanting to make that be the focal point, but saying they have something connection wise. And that they need to focus on what they've got going on, and that she isn't that other woman. I thought was a nice touch, in terms of like explaining that, hey, look, we've got our own thing that we're doing. We're moving in our own direction, and forget about the past. That's as much nice stuff as I can say about the situation, bro. Because after seeing the next week's trailers, I don't have hope, and PTSD must kick in again.
Just kid, where's the optimism? But I
There
have
is
to.
none.
I have to say, like, I did find it a little disconcerting that he just kept telling everybody within a listening ear, like, oh, I got left at this is my second time around. I got left at the altar. It's like, come on, bro. It's like you don't have to tell everybody. And I guess it's like one of those things where he wanted to get ahead of the enemy, right? So he knew that was the elephant in the room, especially for him. So he felt like I'm going to tell people, but it's like just you don't, because it's almost like you're saying you're okay, but you're not really okay because you're trying to tell it before anybody else tells it. It's like, relax. You can definitely get to that. And explain, that particular situation. And her reaction was very interesting. That's the only thing I felt was like, what? That's what you have to say? She was like, oh, well, I wonder why she did that, and it should have been me. Why didn't they pick me first for him? Huh? It's like, ma'am. It's like, all you got to say, sis, is like, you know what? I'm sorry that happened to you. That's very unfortunate, but we're going to make the best out of it. I mean, she eventually got around there, but she kept like running around telling that story too. So I'm like, all right, I totally understand. She wanted to try to find the right thing to say, but that was a little odd to me too.
Yeah, I remember she said that. I did feel like what she was trying to say was like, I think maybe she felt um, a little way in terms of, I think she felt a little way in terms of the fact that, you know, if the experts are really trying to match them, why didn't they match her first in a sense, right? So it's like, if I'm a better match, if I'm a match, why not, you know, why not match her first? I get that too. But also, I get it that, you know, there might have been more than one match for him, or more than one match for most people. So that's that's the honest truth as to why that is. But as people are saying, yeah, it could have felt, she might have felt like it was sloppy seconds in some sense, which I totally get. But yeah, no, I mean, to be honest, the focal point on that second, being a second bride, was too much for me on both sides. I think production just did too much, and it was like, we don't need the focus to be consistently on this drama of the second wife. Let's focus on their communication. Let's focus on their new beginnings. I can't lie to you. I can't remember good stuff. I can't, because I remember most of the conversation. Maybe I was on 1.5 speed and I was half asleep. But all I can remember was the fact they talked about being the second bride. I don't know many good things so far. I can't say, oh, their chemistry or their talking was good, or the conversation was looking like it was going somewhere. You know, I didn't see much of that. But maybe you saw something different, Sean.
Absolutely. See, you fast forwarded. Yeah, no, they were kissing each other. And one key sign was they were clinking, you know, when you clink the glasses at the reception. And then he looked at her and he was like, I think that's the sign to kiss. And she was like, oh, really? And then they kissed and she was like, well, it is now. So let's kiss again. And they just, you know, it just seemed to be not forced. They kissed each other several times. They kissed when they said their vows. And she seemed to be comfortable with him. They had a nice snuggle, you know, when they got back to the hotel room after the wedding. She wasn't awkward. You know, she let him unbutton her dress and everything like that. And you know, sometimes the women that don't want anything to do with the guy, they'll let him like unbutton 4 buttons, and they're like, "Okay, I'm good. I got the rest." And then they come back to bed with a full sweatsuit on, lights out. You know, and then she was like, she cuddled with him, and then she was like, I'll let you. She was like, you can be the big spoon. So she let him be the big spoon. So hey, listen, she was okay with him, being upon her back, as they say. So I think those were some good signs that she was comfortable with him being in her space. you know so I did see those moments, and again, they align with each other on a lot of things, because I think his little friends were making comments. They were like, "Oh, he likes $1,000 sneakers. What would you say?" And she was like, "That's what he wants. That makes him happy. So be it. That's not me, but if that's what makes him happy, I don't care." So I think like they seem to be, pretty aligned. You know what I mean? So let's have hope. Just an ounce.
Let's hope and pray then. Let's hope and pray. Well, listen, we've come to the end of the show. We're just before the hour, which is a great pause point. Sean, I'll let you conclude and give us a benediction, because I don't know how Michael and Chloe gonna make it, but go for it.
You are so ready to be done with this.
So done with the show. This season has just been not right.
Yeah. Maths definitely has put us through the ringer in this season. So hey, listen, folks. We've come to the end of our journey for this episode. We're gonna try. Let's try to have some hope. It might be fleeting, but let's try to have some hope. For Michael and for Chloe, for their sake. We love her energy. Seems like they two people have started off at a good place. Let's see where they end up, right? Having foundational commonalities is a great starting point, but the work has to be done by both people. So let's see their work, let's see their journey, and how this pans out for us. Next, we got, Becca and Austin. Hey, listen, intimacy isn't everything, but it is a thing. And if we don't have a thing, it's nothing. Right, so we can't have a relationship that has nothing, especially when that nothing is intimacy. So, folks, intimacy is important, especially in your marriage. Please work on it. You it can't be all about one. It has to be us together. Right, so very important. Right, it can't be all my way or the highway. I have to look and work at someone else. Emily and Brennan. If you don't want me, then don't talk to me. I think in relationships, we've seen it time and time again. If you don't want somebody, release them and let them know why. But don't hang on to them. Don't leave them wondering. Don't leave them questioning. Let them go. Set them free. Okay? Set them free. And Cam and Claire, you know how to be a friend, right? We don't phone our friends. We show up for our friends. So if you want to be a friend, you show up for your friend when they need you. And that is a core foundation. And an important part of a relationship is friendship. So show up for your friends. Back to you, Coach.
Thank you very much, Sean. Appreciate that. Listen, audience, thank you so much for joining us today. We are gonna be signing out. It's been an interesting episode to talk about. I can't lie to you. Thank God Sean dragged me out to do that. But listen, we'll be back next week as well, and we'll talk about episode 15. And hopefully they're gonna end it soon, because I know they normally go for 22 episodes, but there is nothing to go for. These couples are on their last bitter legs. Okay, Emily and Brennan cannot give you any more content than they already have. Okay, all right. Chloe and Michael just got started, but they're gonna be finishing real soon. Okay, I don't know if they're gonna make the 22 episodes at this point. There's 7 left. I don't think they're even going to make that. I don't think they're even going to make an after episode, because honestly, I just can't see it. Okay, Cameron and Claire, they done. Okay, all right. Lauren and Orion, we don't want to hear any more of his confessions of revelations. Okay, he's done too. Okay, and Emily and Brennan, listen, that brother, if he could, he'd hold out till kingdom come and let people know that he in control, because honestly, there's nothing left for these people to give. Nothing. But anyway, listen, audience, thank you so much. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification uploads. We appreciate y'all. Stay locked. We'll see you again very soon. Much love.